Good evening, I am Dr. Oculus, and today, because of the weird camera angles that you can see, it's obvious we're going to play What's in the Box? Yes, I went shopping on eBay the other day, and I bought this for a whopping £30. I believe it's the old model, but to be quite frank, it is what it is. Now, I was under the impression that it hadn't been opened, so why is there two? I don't know. So we'll start with the small one first, because it's small. So this is obviously... Now, you can see the first part. It's actually pretty decent. Is that actually carbon? I don't know. So that's one part. I don't know if that was a added extra or if it has actually been opened. I need something to... I don't know where my trusted little knife is. This is getting to the part where I stab myself live on video. It's not live, it's not real, we can edit it out. Right, so here you go. That should be a bit more of a idea. So this is the cheek rest, from what I understand. So this is going to go down this end. That's the Beat Saber bit. I don't know. Let's get this out of this. So it is brand new in that it's still sealed. Still got the Mamut seal on it. Focus. There we go. So yes, it is the magnetic Gunstock by Mamut. To be honest, I'd never heard of this company until they did the grips for the Quest. And yet here we are, they make Gunstocks as well. I'm going to take this thing out of the box. That's one. There you go. If you haven't got a knife, get a screwdriver. Let's see what's inside this box. Now, it's got magnetic cups, so that's good because I can't be asked to take these things off of the Rift touch controllers at all. Oh, it turns out I'm actually going to need the screwdriver, so that's good. It tells me how to construct it. So let's see how quick and easy this is. Right, and things are starting to become a little bit more obvious. So, that's very nicely well presented. I wonder what goes in here. Like, what option can you put in that little hole? So, firstly then, we're going to need a couple of touch controllers, which I hung up a moment ago. This thing. And put it over the thing. Now, are these labelled for left and right, or are they universal? I guess they're universal. And it wants to go through the noggin on the... Yeah, there we go. And then you put one of these over the top. Are these sided? I thought they'd be sided. Guess not. It goes in this way. I don't know if I'm doing this on camera for you all. So you can see it's got like a little ridge in it. There you go. See, we would put that in here, and then we need to put in one of these fasteners to grab it from the other side. I've had this on my desk for days now, and I've been itching to open it, but I wanted to open it on camera. So that's got foam in it. I don't know to what end that foam serves, because all it's really doing is making this very difficult to push that in. Is it the same on the other one as well? Eek! It is the same on the other one as well. So That's going to be tight like a tiger. What screw do you want in there? Any of them? None of them? It's a frickin' torque screw. Alright, well I can solve that too. I bought this to strip the PlayStation down. Invaluable piece of equipment. I got my PlayStation working. Well, I got the PlayStation working because I'm a frickin' legend. Right, and you... I assume you get a logo out. Well, hopefully these aren't going to... Ooh, that's horrible. Oh, that's very much in the way there. Very much in the way. I don't know how I feel about that. Let's strap it on and find out, I guess. So, first impressions are not instantly amazing, but that's going in much better. I don't know how far in this is supposed to go. Naturally, you want it to grab the controller. It's only mildly invasive at that. Don't know how I feel about that. I suppose life will adjust. So that goes in there, and then there's a round disc. Let's use the screwdriver for this. Which goes... Right, so that says L, that says R. Oh, right, so you can put either disc on either side, you just have to twist it right. Alright, so that sits on the top of there like so. And... visible mount on controller, 1TX10 in the corner. Simple enough. I'm pretty sure there's a video to go along with this as well. But, you know, this is YouTube, it's not real. That's not right. That's either going in cack-handed or just creating its own hole. So these parts, little bits look 3D printed and then other parts look moulded. The parts that are printed do look to be okay. I feel like that needs more in it. And it has a round thing that goes in there. Is this the round thing? It's definitely a magnet. I can't get this ground magnet out though. Does this... Let's take the foam out. See if I can just push it through from the bottom. I think it's partially because it's actually magnetized to the other one in the thing. Right, so yeah, this is going in our cup, like so. And I'm going to need to screw that in further, I think. The magnet's got it. The magnet's got it. Eeh. What a monumental farce I'm making of this. It's that age-old, I only get one shot, so I don't want to damage it, but at the same time... Alright. So in you go there, and then you want one of the big Mamma Jammers in there. That's added some weight to the controllers, I'll certainly tell you that for nothing. We'll make Beat Saber that a little bit more of a workout. So there we go. That's our cups. It does add quite a bit of heft to the controller. Kind of wish I'd got a second set, to be fair. So that's one down. I'm going to do the other one now, and then be right back with you shortly. Right, so we now have two controllers with our grips on. Very nice. I say, the added weight to them, don't know how I feel about that. Hopefully the trade-off will be worth it. Now it's saying these bits need screwing together. So I wondered why these weren't pre-assembled. And I think I've just figured out why. Because they've got 7 million little holes in them. So you can basically angle them however you need. So these are going to attach to the things like so. And these then go on to the stock. That's a good solid connection right there. I'll give it that. And apparently it only goes on one way. So that's good to know. So we're going here for the pew pew. So realistically, we need to figure out how and where everything's going. Now, I think this seems to be somewhat identical. So this has got the option right here, so you can adjust the angle on it to be exactly where you need it to be. So I figure it's going to the left no matter what. And then the other pole in there like so. Like, I feel like I want... What else is in here then? So we obviously have the cups and everything to connect it. I assume this is to hold the top half of the cup onto the pole, the thing itself, because that also looks to correspond with these. So they'll go in there like so, but what's this bit? Oh! Oh, they actually give you screwdrivers. Oh, that's actually quite impressive. I didn't even notice that. So you've got adjustment tools. You don't need to crack out the screwdrivers like I did. Should have gone through that first. Unboxing lessons I've learned. So firstly then, how we... Because I feel like this needs to be a lot further over to the right. It can be a little bit further over to the right. So if we are going to go for the pew pew, we want the right controller I want that further forward for a kickoff. So if we go for about there-ish, that may actually work. So let's get a doohickey constructed. We don't need this anymore. So it recommended first that we connect this to the cup. They are strong magnets, I'll give them that. Now, how do we know what angle we want this until we've set this up? That doesn't feel like it's really gone in well. It certainly doesn't feel like it's designed to go in and out a lot. Then you want us to attach one of these bad boys. Might want another 2 screws in it. I don't like how these screws are basically falling out of the side. It feels like they could just slip out and rip plastic with it at any point. They also screw in very, very close to another screw hole, which is mildly worrying. But that is in their like swimwear. This apparently then goes onto our tubing, like so. So this is essentially designed to be screwed in and out so much to be adjusted, and yet I feel like it's not going to take that kind of punishment. So this system is not ideal. It gives you great customization, but I don't know if it's built to take this amount of screwing, unscrewing of general punishment. This is something that you set up for yourself and you leave it. There's definitely no share in this. Now, if you're one of those esports types, you probably have your own stock and that's not a problem. It's lifting it up again. It's like you put one screw in and it forces the other side away from its hole. So yeah, I'm not a massive fan of that screw sticking out at the side design, if I'm honest. I don't have much in the way of experience with these kinds of peripherals. It might be that this is the standard. It might be that this is so customizable it's actually preferred. All I know is I know what I like, and I wouldn't have done it this way. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is an old model, and I do believe when I tried to price it up on the internet, I couldn't actually find it on their website, which makes me think that they've actually abandoned this since. And there may be a newer version which has much more R&D involved and is nothing like this. I'm by no way, shape or form rating them as a company, and quite frankly, what I've got for 35 quid is actually quite impressive. I'm not gonna lie. It's certainly got everything that I could want and or need. So this end is always going to stay on the stock. This is fine. And that locks in nicely. That is not letting go of that controller. I feel like this is screwing into the pipe. Another thing that I'm not overly happy about. Alright, so this is going on here like so. So now we need to put this together. So I've been recording now for 50 minutes. Anybody who thinks they're going to go out, buy a Gunstock, slot some controls into it and be shooting things in 5 minutes? Nah, it's never going to happen. I think that basically goes for anybody, any particular product. I don't think there is a Gunstock that you can have perfectly comfortable in 5 minutes. It's never going to happen. they are very complex, and every single human body is shaped differently. I'm not that experienced, but I imagine guns are somewhat similar. If you customize them, they can feel much, much better. You get a grip, you get a stock size, everything else to custom tailored, suited to you. It will be a much better experience when you go out shooting feral boar in your back garden with your kids or whatever. I think that screw needs taking in a bit more. There we go. It feels like I've got scaffolding strapped to my face, but that's not far off. I feel like I would want to come up here with it. I can't drop this down. I could take the saw to the pole in the middle, but all in all, like, is this the better option? I won't be able to use the cheek rest, but I would be able to go down the sides. It's definitely something I'm going to have to play with, and I do mean play with as well as actually tinker, because at this point, realistically, this gun, you're just aiming that way. Right, that is on there. Okay, I'm now going to lock in this piece as well, and then it's the money shot, blocking the face. We're going to see how this thing works, how this thing tracks, and give it a little go-ski. Okay, so I tested out the Gunstock, and one of the first things I noticed when I booted up Onward, the Gunstock configuration was completely wrong. I've now actually configured it so it looks a little bit more like this. Another thing that I noticed is that whilst I've not been using it as Gunstock, the magnetic cups, well, I say cups, the discs that are used to connect it to the Gunstock, they're mildly invasive in the position that they're in, and I suspect this has been tweaked on later designs, and the amount of weight that it adds to the controller is that bad that I'm actually considering removing them. It is quite invasive, and just the weight that it adds to the controller. I was playing Beat Saber, and for the first time ever there was a very real danger I was going to let go of the controllers. It is quite uncomfortable. I also found it sticks to my keys in my left pocket, so I mean there's that element to it as well. One thing that I did notice though, the little thumb screwdriver things that they actually supply are fantastic for tightening up the screws. Because they've got it's like a winding handle, you can really drive those screws home, so they are actually an essential piece of kit, and they're actually very, very handy for when I needed to tweak and move it when I realised it was all set up completely wrong. All in all, it is good. I just don't know if I play enough first-person shooters to warrant having the whole thing built together. It also helped that I did find an old lanyard that I clipped onto there, allowed it to stay together, and a lot of the games that I actually show in this video aren't really designed for a Gunstock, to be honest. I played them intentionally to see how it would function for games that aren't essentially military simulators. And to be fair, when you got into like Killing Floor Incursion, it actually handled quite well. I was tempted to try it on Arizona Sunshine, but there is a lot of hand movement and also a lot of single-handed guns in that game. So I didn't really bother with Sunshine Arizona, or Arizona Sunshine. So all in all, it's a pretty decent product, but I understand why they no longer sell it anymore. Those magnetic clip designs are just not very functional. I think most people have got it right with a cup on the bottom of the controller and having the controller over the top. Another thing was tracking every now and again. If I was at the completely wrong angle with my sensor setup, it did kind of lose it, but not really a great deal. I honestly think that was down to the fact that I had the sensor plugged into a USB 2 adapter and it realistically needs a USB 3. All in all, it's a pretty decent product, and what I paid for it, especially when you consider the price of other Gunstocks, is fantastic value. But it's just a case of learning to live with the attachments on the controllers at all times. So that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this, don't forget to hit that like button, and by all means share it with somebody if they are considering doing what I've done, buying a cheap Gunstock off eBay, just to give them a bit of a heads up and let them know what to expect. But until next time, the Doctor is out.